Okay, so what we're going to do is make a solid flow form. So I'm going to start a new sketch on the front plane, and I am going to give myself a bounding box so that I can really begin to visualize what my solid block looks like. So I'm going to turn that into, each one of those lines into a construction geometry, and then I can drop some dimensions on it so that this can be 4 by 4. And then it'll be 18 inches long. And I might move this object so that it's touching my origin, and then that's going to help me when I build the next part. So inside of this little bounding box that I have, I'm going to go ahead and draw some of the lines that I think I'm going to cut on the bandsaw and the table saw. So this really, I want to be exploratory in how I'm creating these lines, and perhaps as you create them, you know, if you need to go out of this bounding box at first to get them to be exactly what you want. Okay, and then I'm going to close these forms up on the end so that I can extrude this object. Okay, so that's my first piece. And now I'm going to come up to the top plane and do another sketch. So on that top plane, so you can start to see how those profiles might cross over each other. So I'm going to start a new sketch on this top plane, and I'll go ahead and get normal to it. And I'm going to draw another bounding box to help myself see that blank that we're using. And I'll get some dimensions on it to make sure that it's correct. So I'm 18. Okay, so I feel good about that. And now I'm going to go ahead and start putting in whatever the splines from my top view are going to look like. Got one too many on there. Okay, I'm going to put in that bottom spline. And let's go ahead and cap it off on the ends. And so now I have that, and I think I forgot to turn my box into construction geometry, and that's going to be important so it doesn't interfere with my blend. So now I have these two forms, and as I'm looking at them, I'm not totally happy with the fairness of the curve, but that's something that I can continue to change as I play with it. So let's go ahead and see how we might be able to use both of these. So the first thing I'm going to do is extrude just one of them, and I'm going to pull that point out. I think I accidentally changed that sketch, so I'll get it back into shape. And I want this to come out farther than the other form, and I'll say yes to this. And so you can see how that object would be extruded in that direction. And then I'm going to come back and use this other sketch and also make a boss base out of it. Let me change its direction so it's going all the way through that object. And at this point I'm going to unmerge the results because I want the computer to see these as two separate objects. So I'm going to stop them there, and from this I am going to overlap them. So I'm not sure that you can see this on the top of this video, but if I pop down the insert menu and come to features and use combine, what I'm going to do is find the common relationship between these two bodies. So you can see why it would be important to have them not merge. So those are the two bodies that I want to connect, and what I want to do is see the overlap between them. And so that would be my solid flow form based on the 4 cuts that I had made.